Okay, welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. It's still the Gladiators on your station, Comfort 95.1 FM. Chief Priest Sheniza Sang, right here in the studio. Of course, I'm the acting commander, but not the Brigadier General. I refuse. I dodged that title, I beg. The Gladiators, of course, talk never finish, yo. Now, after many years of standing trial on terrorism allegations, the leader of the indigenous, let them not come and catch me. Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has been sentenced to life imprisonment. Justice Omotoso, delivering judgment at the Federal High Court, Abuja, today, sentenced him to life imprisonment on counts 1 through 6 instead of meting out the death sentence. You know, just about yesterday, the news came up, but it actually happened 2 days ago. The Nigerian army dismissed a private soldier, Isa Emmanuel, a frontline soldier serving with the 16th Brigade garrison, after he continued firing on Boko Haram insurgents in direct defiance of an order to cease fire during a fierce ambush on November 17, 2025. Well, internal military documents show that troops came under sustained attack in the northeast when the commanding officer ordered an immediate halt to gunfire to allow tactical withdrawing and repositioning. Private Emmanuel refused, arguing that stopping at that moment would leave the unit exposed to certain death. Witnesses said he instead delivered sustained suppressive fire that forced the terrorists to break off their assault and retreat, an action many believe prevented a massacre of the patrol. Well, despite that outcome, army authorities ruled the act as a gross disobedience to a standing order, and that is a serious offense under military law. Now, the issue is not who did what, but we're talking of two very incumbent matters. The enemy is advancing on you and your survival instincts kick in. But of course, you're not just any person. You're a military personnel, well trained to obey orders. Okay, now his actions saved lives. But if we allow this kind of narrative, wouldn't it be a problem for military discipline in the future?
I don't think so. Take for instance, in the Second Republic, during the Shagari administration, marauders like that were invading Nigeria. Then the GOC in Jos as of that time was Muhammadu Buhari, our late president. He chased them up to Chad, without the commander-in-chief giving any directive. That's what Buhari said to justify the action he did. He said it's loyalty, it's for his troops. Now look at the case we are talking about. That okay, look, these terrorists were advancing. Would it have been better for the Nigerian army to sustain casualties in the face of that particular act than releasing fire on them for them to take a flight? The private has done something that has saved the lives of his colleagues. That private saved more important than this issue of disobeying order.
Well, Chiniz, how do you weigh in on this?
Yeah, for me, just like they say that you obey the last command, that's what they say in the military. And I think the private was just between a rock and a hard place, or some people may like to say between the devil and the deep blue sea here. So now, if we don't really have much intel on this, because I don't want to believe that the commander would have preferred them gone down by the insurgents that were advancing towards them, and would have preferred that instead of what the action that the private took. So I'm really trying to
it doesn't make sense with you.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It's not in sync with my thought flow at this moment. So I just feel that maybe there is more to it, But I feel that for the private to have been told don't shoot, maybe the military commander probably maybe it's the man that saw tomorrow. Maybe who knows what he saw. That kind of stuff, and then the private went ahead to disobey that order, and in military that's a serious offense. So but that's for me. I strongly feel that if there is merit to his action, and then when probably they take a second look at that incident, I'm sure a committee will be set up, and I'm dead sure that it's going to that to be upturned and it'll be recalled. That's what I think. But then my issue was on this Nnamdi Kanu stuff here, because I just feel that for him, you know, and the other time I talked about before this sentencing, this conviction and sentencing, like a fortnight ago, I actually watched this on TV. How he was, in fact, he was even running berserk, you know, like someone that was on some form of substance, you understand? And I just couldn't understand that this is a man that was in front of a judge, you know, a judge that is supposed to decide his fate, when he should be calm, he should be calm, respectful, and then be able to, you know, tame himself in such a way that maybe because the offenses for which he was standing for were serious offenses, and maybe the judge could, you know, temper justice with mercy because of the ambience, because of his you know, the kind of aura he brought in there. You know, maybe the judge could probably have maybe temper justice with mercy to show maybe he's being remorseful, you know, being sorry, being sober, you know, so to speak. But instead I saw a man that, you know, went all the way, insulting, verbal abuse, and even becoming very violent, throwing chairs and all kinds of stuff in the courtroom. And I say, oh, is it really well advised? Because is it a clear case of someone that is that a lack of wisdom, or so to speak? Or
let's not forget that he's been you know, kept under lock and key for so long a time, and that in itself,
why would that?
It can affect.
That should sober him up. That should sober him up, because this is someone. You should sober him up, because
the way Jesus.
Yes, because this is someone that, for goodness sake, has a family. He has his own family. Is he not missing his family? His good conduct not supposed to be an attractive thing for him. That, oh, let me even show good so that I'll be able to see my family. You sacked all your legal team, and I stand to be corrected. Perhaps it was his recalcitrant attitude that probably maybe his legal team. You heard, if you follow the judgment during the conviction, you hear that he was even almost slapping his some of the members of his legal team, telling them to shut up. You know, he should handle, you know, that kind of aggressive posture and arrogance and cockiness and all that. Okay, now maybe he said he wanted to defend himself. Okay, you want to defend yourself, but you couldn't really defend yourself. How could you have defended yourself in the first place? And now the time came for you to defend yourself. You said no case of submission, you know, and then you said you were not going to call witnesses. When at the end of the day you refused to even defend yourself. You now leave the trial judge to the mercy of the prosecuting team, what they will say, because that was a serious risk. You were just gambling with your life as if you have I don't even know, I mean, if you needed to have seen him, because this is someone, your fate is going to be determined by the judge. Yet you were there, you know, casting aspersion on the judge, telling the judge that he doesn't know any law, the same person that is going to decide your fate. And I'm wondering who even advised this guy, who really advised him, because was he really coming out there to get justice, or he knew that something was going to, you know, I said it the other day in this, that what maybe the game this Nnamdi Kanu is playing, he's playing a game that shows that maybe at the end of the day, looking for a political solution to his problem, because at the end of the day, maybe the presidency will have to step in, maybe granting clemency and stuff like that, because the way he's really going about it, in fact, if I had seen anything that was contrary to the judgment given today, I would have said it's not possible. Yeah. Of course, I did see this coming.
Haram, the man in Udoiko says Boko Haram that killed people and destroyed homes, properties, are given amnesty, but Kanu is sentenced to life imprisonment. We joke so much in this country, we're so comfortable with negativity. I don't know why DJT, that Trump is wasting time. Well, this is
waiting for Tunis. Tunis are not giving the go ahead.
Well. Unfortunately, how far we can go taking any response, we gotta take our final shots and round off the show right now. So we'll start with the man who began the talking just 30 seconds.
Yeah, for me, I just feel that the citizens are, crying now because they feel that the system has just changed them. The government, just like the caller here has just said, the barometer for which you use in measuring whether a government is performing through security of lives and property and how well the citizens are faring. This is just the barometer you use in measuring whether a government is indeed performing or not. And I just feel that government should, in fact, ensure that the primary responsibility to any government is the security of lives and property of the citizens.
That's a fundamental no-step principle. That's what it was about that. But let those in authorities ensure that socio-economic amenities are made available to the Nigerian people, for yourself or your family. It is the generality of the people. It is to the greater number of the Nigerian people. Without so, voila, will continue to bedevil virtually everything. God save Nigeria.
Keep on listening to Comfort 95.1 FM. We're here to entertain you, we're here to educate you, to inform you, and of course, engage with you. And that's how it's going to be all through until midnight today. So stay tuned and enjoy every bit of what we have to offer you today. Good evening.
China